Okay, this is part three actually of mixed people not having a safe space. So, as I said in my second video, that sometimes in my comics, comments, I've had at least one or two people literally tag me in the comments and say that I'm not even black. All right? So, as funny as that may be, it's not only just happened on YouTube. It hasn't happened on TikTok yet, but it has happened not on Instagram, not on Facebook, but it has happened actually in my fucking actual life where I have bumped into people. And this again goes back to the childhood race war where they have literally looked at me and said, "You ain't even black." It's like, yeah, how dare you call yourself black? You're not even black. And I'm like, why the fuck am I not black? Oh, that was because that person actually saw what my mom looks like. And that was probably one of the things that rolled the ball on why I made sure to never get in trouble at school. The only time my mom has been to school for me in my entire life was two times. The other two times she made phone calls. But the first time was when she took me to school the day after I cut my eye thinking that I could fly. Because I had curly hair and I thought I could be William Cat, the greatest American hero. I literally thought that I could be him. And just like him, I couldn't land worth shit. Shout out to William Katz. Anyway, so I missed the first day of school. I went to school the second day. And it had the little band-aid and stuff. And I had to find my name because I didn't know that my real name was James. Oh, God. So since I was 3 years old, I was reading this comic book called Jonah Hex, and he's a cowboy, and his face was fucked up, and they made a movie about it. So I always thought that that was my actual name, because that was the name I had given myself when I was 3 years old, and I was reading that comic book. It didn't come from the church; it came from the comic book. It was also because I didn't know I was part Native, and I always wanted to be a cowboy. That's been one of my greatest shames until Brave Star came out. So thank you for Brave Star. But anyway, Jonah Hex was a fucked up ass cowboy. He's a white dude. His face got shot or some bullshit. And anyway, when we went to kindergarten, I had to find my name. That wasn't on my nameplate. My name tag was James Williams Jr., and I didn't know that was my name because they never called me that. They either called me Junior or they called me Jonah. And a lot of my street fights was under the name of Jonah. So if anybody's remembering, yeah, oh, we know that motherfucker. Don't fuck with Jonah. Yeah, that would have been me. Anyway, so um, one of the students seen my mom, and he started this thing, and he's like, "Yeah, James has a white mom. James has a white mom." The school, the school never let that shit go. The entire community of black kids, James has a white mom, and somehow that became their dig. Whenever they had to have a dig at the half breed kid, well, yeah, at least we ain't got a white mom. And I'm like, okay, those are fighting words, but at the same time, it's like, no, I don't want to get into trouble because I don't want my mom coming here because what she doesn't know is that these kids dig in on me with any little thing about her being white looking. So I'm like, damn, man, damn. And every time I turn around, you have a white mom. You have a white mom. And this went on from kindergarten to like the fifth grade. And then there was Miss Conrad who pointed out to the world that I was part Native. And I didn't believe her until I got home and asked about it. And I was like, oh, fuck. So now I have one more problem to add to my problem. This was the greatest day to find out I was part Native. But at the same time, it was my gift and my curse, if we can quote Spider-Man on that. Because it was already a problem just being part black and part white. It got worse being part Native. Along come the Tonto jokes and that kind of shit. So yeah, and then that's where the great shame came in of wanting to be a fucking cowboy. So there's a lot about cowboys and natives that we just don't really fucking know about. But it's a long story. But anyway, the bottom line was, the second time she came to school was when I punched a girl in the mouth for calling me the N word. And so that's probably about the only other time that anybody has ever seen my mom because I made sure to stay out of school and stay out of trouble in school. If I got in trouble in school, I only wanted my grandmother or my Aunt Gladys to come because they are brown people, and that way people won't be yelling at me about how much I have a white mom. So all through Walker and Buford, I stayed the fuck out of trouble. Stayed the fuck out of trouble. I made sure to stay the fuck out of trouble. I got the CHS, stayed the fuck out of trouble. You know, I already had enough problems with the people going, yeah, the little mixed guys over there. And I had some mixed friends finally, but I had to go from Walker to Buford to get mixed friends. And I'm sure their story is no different than mine. But, you know, as a person who's like a triple threat, you know, you kind of gotta, alright, if you got somebody who's just black and just white, they're in a little bit better shape than someone like me, who's not just black and not just white, but also native. So now I have to deal with the fact that, okay, I got three races. I have three races that flow through my genealogy, and I'm like, wow, man, this is just fucked up. And then, you know, I've had those identity crises. I've had them. And I've always felt more native than black or white. And mostly it was because out of the three, no, they were the more tangible native. I look more native than black, white. I'll never look white. So, you know, um, it's also why I build myself out as a native for my acting career as Echo Fan Grey Wolf now. And this is the first year of us doing this. So let's pray that this is the thing that does it. But, you know, when it came to like making acting movies and shit, they just looked right past me. Looked right past me. Like, we don't know what to do with you. We can't find a role for you. And that sucks. So now I'm just going to build myself out as native. And I'm going to continue to be Echo Fan Grey Wolf. And that's what you guys are going to call me, unless you want to call me James. Echo or James, either one is good. But the common sense denominator is that in the entire system of this demographic, I've had most of my problems that was racially more from black people than white people. I had one Asian kid that I had an argument with. His name was Zhang, and that was about rice cakes in Vietnam because I didn't know shit about Vietnam, even though the Vietnam War had just ended before we got to school. So, you know, I'm trying to get this damn thing that y'all can't see, but it's annoying me off my fucking screen. Oh, for the love of God, go away. It's just bouncing. It's all over the place. There we go. Finally. Okay. So, you know, the thing is, man, with being mixed, I mean, you will find that your safest place is with other mixed people because our journey is the same. You will have great black friends. You will have great white friends. But their friends won't be so great to you. Okay? And then there's the paper bag test and all kinds of other shit that you're going to have to deal with. You're not going to like it, but you are going to accept it because you're not going to have much of a choice. Slim Jims. I need to get my tea. But, you know, when you're looking at it, from the outside looking in, it doesn't affect you if you're not mixed. It only affects us mixed people. And the thing with that is, you know, who do I turn to? Where do I go? And then, you know, it's just a matter of perception for most of us. And most people were like, well, you're still just a half-breed. And yes, I have been told, you are still just a half-breed. And yeah, it sucks. It doesn't make it any less true. It does suck. And like each of my siblings, we all have a different look about us. I have two siblings that can be white passing. My younger brother and my younger sister. The one I talked about before, it keeps calling me stupid. But always call stupid when she needs something. Yeah. Now the thing is, you can't have it both ways. You can't treat me like shit and expect me to treat you like gold. But with other people who are mixed will probably tell you the same shit. You know, as a mixed person, that they have also faced ostracization. I didn't say that right, but you know they are often God damn it, they are often ridiculed and picked on by their heritage as well. And it honestly, truly, to God, depends. It really depends, and I mean that in the utmost respect. It really depends on what color their parents are. If your mom looks white, but you're not raised anywhere near white people, it's a crazy ass story. If your dad is white and you're raised around white people, it's a little bit different. It's a little. But the neighborhood in which you grow up in also plays a part. I grew up in West Haven. I had street fights in West Haven. I had street fights in other locations, but I grew up in West Haven. From the age of 6 to 12, the street fighter, Jonah, beat people ass. The street fighter, James, beat people ass. Echo ain't been in no street fight in a long motherfucking time. So, you know, I'll let people understand something. I don't have to prove to you that I can fight. I just gotta prove to you that I like to stay the fuck out of trouble. I like my freedom. No. But I do send warnings, not invitations. And I'm gonna get back on track. But as a mixed person, we get into more arguments with people and get ready to get into more fights with people because we are mixed. You know? So not only was there not a safe space in the physical, now there's not a safe space in the digital. And I mean this with the utmost respect. Most of my problems, sadly, and make sure you heard me, sadly, have come from black people. I hate saying that shit. With my full fucking chest, I hate saying that shit. Doesn't make it any less true. I have never had a problem with Spanish people. I don't speak Spanish. Lots of Spanish people think that I'm Mexican and will speak to me in Spanish. And then I have to let them know, hey, thank you for all that. I don't know what the fuck you said about me or my mama or my grandmother or whatever, because I'm not Spanish. I am of native ethnicity, but I am not Spanish. And be like, Primo, I thought you was like Mexican. Like, I'm not your primo, bro. I'm not remotely close to Spanish at all. Which goes back to a fun story. I'll tell it again. I've told it 1,000 times. I was in college. The Japanese class was canceled. I could probably learn Japanese a lot better than I can learn Spanish because I'm into martial arts. So this Spanish teacher, who was from Spain, said some unbecoming racial shit. And yes, she was from Spain, but she was whiter than a ghost. And she literally looked at me in class and said that I should cheat. The answers are in the back. And I said, but if I cheat, I'll never learn Spanish. She said, and if you don't cheat, you won't pass my class. And then it got to, I never seen a Mexican. They can't speak Spanish. I said, well, first off, that was racist as fuck. And secondly, you need some culture because I'm not Mexican. It's like, you're not Mexican. My last name is Williams. I am black and I am native and I am white. You need some fucking culture. I am the American abomination to some people because I am part native, which is like the main people that were here. The blacks that were slaves, I'm part of that shit too. And then the white people who fucked up everything and brought them here. Okay? Yeah, I said it. I said it exactly like that to her, so I'll say it exactly like that to y'all. Do I blame white people for slavery? Fuck no. I can't hold people responsible for what my ancestors was a part of. Because, like I said, there's white in me too. The DNA test proved that I'm 95% a white man. And I was like, how the fuck is this possible? Luckily, those things stay in the corner for entertainment purposes only. But anyway, you would think that since I'm of 3 different ethnicities or 3 different races, that it would like even out. You know, so it'd be like maybe 76% of each one. because you know you got 25, 25, 25, and 25. That makes 100. So now you have to divide. Let's see what that would turn out to be, because I'm stupid with math. What is 100 divided by 3?
100 divided by 3 is approximately 33.33.
So that's what my DNA should say, instead of like 95% a white man. So yeah, like I look white. I'm seriously, I'm touched. The DNA test says that I'm 95% that I'm a white man. It's like, yeah, okay. I don't think that's correct. I literally said I don't think that this DNA test is correct because but hey, they claim DNA doesn't lie, but I'm not going with that. I'm actually gonna get a second opinion at some point at some time. Like once I get famous, I'm gonna take all the DNA tests that I can. I'm gonna take every fucking one of them. I'm definitely looking into genealogy because DNA tests aren't always 100% accurate when it comes to native DNA because there's not enough native DNA on file. At least that's what I've been told. But anyway, also as the BIA said, even if you were 100% native, the DNA wouldn't mean shit to them. So then there's blood quantum. You get where we're going with that. But anyway, as I said, you know, as a mixed person, you know, I've been through the ringer on some shit. And as I said in the other video, that lady just didn't want to hear that shit. She couldn't be wrong. I could be wrong. It could definitely be part of the Sudanese shit. But again, y'all watch me Google. It said nothing about the Sudanese. Navy blue people swim with whales. Now, I know I got a little bit off track. But I'm going to tell you something. When you are mixed, and if you're blessed to find a place that you fit in, if you are blessed to find a place that you fit in, that is the difference maker. That is literally the difference maker. Where people like me who were not blessed to find the place that I fit in is where the problems lie. Alright? It is a problem when you are talking to people that's in your heritage and they could care two shits. And then they'll say you are a zebra or you're not really one of us. So, I mean, where do I go? What do I do? How do I fix it? I can't. I can't change who I am. But this is what happens. No, this is what you get. And then everybody's like, well, it's not us. No, you're right. It's not you. But it's a minority versus the majority who would be the first ones to say, you don't really belong with us because you're not really black. So we got to call ourselves out on it. And like the lady today who just gave me all kinds of fucking hell in the comments over Sudanese versus Inuit. We arguing over fucking 10-foot tall imaginary people that some white dude named James Cameron just got $8 million some odd damn dollars making a motherfucker. Why are we fighting over this shit? Wasn't a bad movie. But she said that we were talking about hands up the mouth thing. Natives started that. Not the Sudanese. This belongs to natives for missing and murdered indigenous women and girls and two spirits. And like I like to call it, MMIP. Sooner or later, I want to end this video with this. Sooner or later, we are all going to have to take a knee to racism. Because we're never going to get anywhere if we don't. If this world could stop being racist for fucking 24 hours, this world would be way different. If I could take every person who is racist and put them in the body of the people they are racist to and let them experience the racism that they dwell out every day on the victims that they dwell on, racism would come to a complete stop. If I could take the racist whites and make them black for a day, if I could take the racist blacks and make them white for a day, if I could take the racist Asians and the racist Spanish people and all the races that are racism and made them the races do what they hate the most. But regardless of whatever your race is, if you hated a certain person because of their race, and I could swap you into that person's body, and you have to sit there for an hour, because that's like probably 55 minutes more than an average person could take of being called all the racial slurs and go through all the racial stereotypes, racism would come to an end. It would come to a complete and total fucking end. And none of us would hate each other because we would all know that following things is what we do. We all bleed red. We all brush our teeth. We all wash our bodies the same. We all wipe our ass the same. We flush a toilet, unless you live in an outhouse where then you just gotta have some honey dipper Dan dude come by and scoop that shit and get rid of it. But for the people who live in civilization, you know, we all wipe our ass the same. We all wash our ass the same. We might have left-handed people and right-handed people who brush their teeth differently. But we generally all wipe our ass the same. And most people wipe it with their right hands. So we should probably all start shaking with our left. Because not everybody who leaves the bathroom washes their hands. Okay? But if I could put all racist people into the bodies of the people that they are the most racist to, racism would come to a complete fucking stop. And I'm not talking about systemic racism. I can stop too. But I'm talking about racism, as in I hate you because of the color of your skin. I hate you because of your cultural differences. That racism should be done. That shit would fucking be done. Now, the thing is, it won't happen in my lifetime. I learned that. I learned that a long time ago. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. But for all you young people out there, you can fix this. Because we couldn't. But you can fix this. And I'm not saying be colorblind. You can clearly see I am a mixed person. You can clearly acknowledge a black person and a white person and an Asian person and a Spanish person. You can clearly acknowledge that they are that race of person. But acknowledge them properly. And do not hate them because no one asked to be born in a specific race. And if you did, where was I when they gave out those tickets? Because I wouldn't have been mixed. I'd have been full native. Sorry, I said it. I'd have been full native. Especially after today. And this is another reason why I'm going to end this right here. This is another reason why mixed people tend to embrace the heritage that embraces them first. Keep that shit in mind. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2. B, C, and E.